right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Sideshow. My name is Mingo. We have Tony on the show with us now. Manny decided to step down and, pursue other things. So we wish him well in everything that he's doing. Wish him all the best. But Tony also goes by Paychecks with 2 X's because you're what?
I'm twice as sexy.
There you go. And then we also have
Sebastian.
That's my son.
I hate it too.
So, last time that you were on, we talked about a few different things, right? And I just had a couple of follow-up questions that I didn't get a chance to get to the last time you were here. So, is your wife left-handed or right-handed?
She's right-handed.
Ooh. So when she was wiping your ass, would it have been easier if she was left-handed?
We back on this subject again?
Well, yeah. You know what? After we left, there was so many questions that were unanswered.
What was your question again?
Would it have been easier when she was wiping your ass if she was left-handed or right-handed?
I'm going to say it worked out perfectly with her being right-handed because her wedding ring is on the left hand.
Ooh, that might have hurt.
Yeah. It might have hurt me, of course.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Between getting scratched up, hair's getting pulled out, because they could get caught up in that little diamond right there.
Right.
No, that big diamond.
Right.
There you go.
The big rock.
For those of you that don't know, Tony is quite hairy.
For lack of a better description.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he a little bit like Robin Williams, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, that might be a little dangerous with the ring.
Yes, sir.
But here's the other question that I had, and maybe that's why the left-handed, right-handed thing was like, so when she went to clean you, was it like, okay, grab your toes, or was it like a bend over, put your hands on the wall? Like,
well, that's the best thing about those hospital gowns.
Right.
The back is open.
Right.
And so it's you're free balling back there.
Right.
No problems.
So was it like a bend over, lean over?
Put your
foot on the toilet.
Hard to remember, but I do remember.
Jesus Christ.
You have you're walking around with the
IV,
the pole on the wheels.
So you're sturdy there.
Yeah.
You have the bar.
No,
on
you're
the
not
side?
sturdy because
it's on wheels, right?
It's on wheels, but I was very weak.
Just let him talk. Dang.
Well, but because he's saying things, and all these visions are like, okay,
so I'm creeping around like a 90-year-old man.
Okay.
And hard to sit down, hard to get up. So yeah, I would maybe she pushed me up against the sink, and
Powerful
handled
woman.
it. Yeah. I mean, hey.
She took that county thing to a new level.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to say that I probably made every effort to do it, because I'm a man, but
right.
Maybe she saw that I was struggling a little bit, and why get the skid marks on the sheets?
Right. Does your wife? I don't remember. I don't remember, and I don't think I ever saw her with really long nails. But does she get fake nails every once in a while?
Yeah, they're manicured. Yeah. She gets the fills every month. Stuff like that.
Okay, so I've often wondered, because there's been a lot of jobs where I worked where women came in and they have nails, and some, like, now the big thing is the pointy nails.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Holy shit! There's this girl that I know from up north. She had some pictures on there yesterday, and I don't know. They must have the nail from the tip to the edge of the nail had to have been about 1.5 inches long.
Yep, they're like daggers.
Yeah, and pointy as all get out. I'm thinking now maybe during sex those might be okay, but how do you wipe your ass with such pointy and long nails? Like I never understood it until I saw the old lady with the curved fingers that were curved down. Like maybe that's how they had to curve their hands so that they could wipe their ass. But
yeah, when old ladies' curved hands almost look like fins. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? And then especially with pointy nails, it really like a fin, right? What kind of shark is that?
Jesus.
But so here's what I'm thinking, because we're 3 men in a room, and we all have different vantage points of what the situation is, and I don't think it's fair for us to talk shit about women that have long nails, about how it works. So I'm going to make a proposal. I think what we need to do is put on fake nails this week on your dominant hand and record yourself with your phone, just voice. We don't need any pictures. I just want voices of you trying to wipe your ass with nails.
How about we just do a mental recollection? I don't want audio anywhere on the internet or anywhere on any cloud of that happening.
Well, but Sebastian, I'm not saying go in there, sit down, and hit record, and I don't want to hear the plops either.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
how long did you say to put the nails on for?
Long enough to wipe your ass?
Yeah, just long enough for you to go potty. Like
just like maybe the 5-10 minutes it takes.
Right. So like, let's say, well, yeah. I mean, you could wait until you're actually in the bathroom, going potty, and apply them, like the fake press on nails or whatever.
Okay.
And then just take them off right afterwards. I was thinking maybe get them on that morning and, eat and wait and see, like on your day off, and wait and see until you do go to the bathroom, and then bam. But
okay, well, the only reason I ask is because if, somebody like me might put on white press on nails, and by the end of the week, they might be brown because toilet paper can break.
Them over the week.
Right. Don't want to give the wrong signal. Right?
Yes, sir.
I'm seeing what you're saying. So yeah, are you down with that?
We could probably give it a try.
All
I
right.
can borrow some of my daughters.
Sebastian?
There you go. I feel as though I don't have a fucking choice.
You
at this
don't.
Point.
I was just asking to be nice.
Well,
all right. So next podcast we'll report how that goes.
Invest us in thicker ply toilet paper. I don't want to scratch myself.
I think that's what women do. I think they wad it up and they reach from
I think they buy thicker ply.
I don't think so. Well, what if they're at work and they have that same?
Well, in that case, yeah,
that same
extra fold,
split
but
finger.
Well, the single ply would definitely just be out the door,
right? Now maybe the
be
thing
like
with
stabbing yourself up there.
Maybe the thing with the whole pointy thing is just making a wad and kind of jamming it on the tip of the nails. So
See, but if it's a press on and the glue's not good enough, then it all just falls off.
That is true.
Then if you have a wet poop, don't usually press on nails.
If anything, this is an advertisement for real painted nails.
Right?
Don't use press-ons.
Well, maybe if you're that worried about it, what we'll do is maybe we'll take you to the salon.
I'm not worried about shit. Don't get me wrong.
We'll take you to a salon and
No
actually
pun
have
intended.
nails put on. Huh?
No pun intended.
What?
I said I'm not worried about shit at all.
Oh, nice.
Didn't even mean to.
I'm just thinking, would the thumbnail be included as well? Because now I'm looking at my hand. It would just be the 4 fingers that really would need to apply.
Well, no,
You don't
because
use top for leverage and
because
extra grippage?
because when you hold the toilet paper, you use your other finger kind of to hold it, right? Until
the
you're in
corner?
position.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
So
right.
you're going to end up with a top coat of poop on that long finger if you're not careful. You know what I'm saying? But
I've
Tony,
been working all day. Looks like I've been wiping without toilet paper now.
But Tony,
Look at
put
my
up your
nails.
hand real quick. Like your thumb is really, I guess mine is too. I was gonna say it's really short compared to the rest of the fingers, but
No, they're about the same.
yeah, they're about the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you're going in to wipe like that, and you're gonna get some on that nail if it's too long or not fast enough.
Yeah, you're right. All right, we'll give it a try.
All right, we'll figure it out. And you have the upper hand because you're married and you have somebody that wears those kind of nails that can tell you how to do it. Well,
Yeah.
I'm on.
Don't
like,
do that. You want a genuine experience.
Yeah. We're on fucking
White girls.
Discovery Expedition or whatever the shit that is.
Could you imagine if I didn't tell her I was doing this and she walks in?
You shouldn't.
Right. Tony, why do you have nails on? Honey, I just wanted to poop from your perspective.
Yeah, I was going to say, why are you putting nails on while you're pooping, Tony? Like,
Oh, I saw it on TikTok. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is all going bad for you already, Tony. There's no excuse out. Did you watch the debate the other night?
Unfortunately, I missed it. Worked a little too late.
I thought he was going to say, unfortunately, I did.
Yeah.
I probably would have started the same way. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? I watched a little bit of it. It kind of bored me after a while because it wasn't like the first one where it was just talking all over
Action-packed
each other, and yeah, it was. They were actually kind of
Civil.
listening and civil and letting each other speak. Looking at it, I think people see it and they see that Trump wasn't the punky was the first time,
Right.
and would say
Let me
that
fix
he won
that.
the debate.
Loudmouthed asshole.
And,
Right.
and that's the thing. The bar was lowered so much that by him just being quiet,
A decent human being,
being
for
a
once,
decent person,
for lack of a
they
better
think
term.
he did so great.
I think they turned off his mic. I think they
Or
told him
lowered
they were
his
going to-
volume.
Oh, yeah, they told him they were going to, yeah.
Yeah.
He probably didn't want to get embarrassed about them actually doing it.
Right. Wow.
president. You can't mute me.
They needed to. Boy, that was well. It was a much better debate. But what I really want to see, and I think the way this presidential run should be decided is just a all out street fight. No time limit. Just whoever can't get up anymore.
It would look like an episode of Hobo Fights.
Yeah, it'll be like, and hopefully it'll end up like that. What was that shit on MTV where they had the little claymation fights?
Oh, yeah, like the wrestling claymation. I don't remember what it was called.
I knew
it would get all the characters.
I don't think Biden was on WWE either, so he doesn't have the upper hand.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Trump was.
Yeah,
in wrestling.
Oh, so he got a little bit of training. He might. Oh.
Well, but then there's the video of him getting body slammed by that football guy and hitting the bus behind him. I know it's fake, but it's hilarious. Look it up if you haven't seen that.
I think Biden might be able to take him.
You know,
who's older and by how much? I think Biden's older,
only
right?
older by a couple of years.
And he just looks tired.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Trump's
pretty weighty.
He's weighty, but he moves around pretty good for a man his age. Considering a couple of years later, you're looking at Biden,
right?
Yeah.
But I think he'd get winded real quick.
Yeah.
You see him walking down that after that one rally.
Oh yeah,
walking down the
just kick him in the shin one time, pop him in the face.
There you go.
Done.
I would just like to see what his hair would do after something like that, or during something like that.
It would be great if they fought, and while Trump was on the ground, he got him in a headlock and gave him knuckle noogies.
A noogie, yeah.
Did you see in 2016 when he went on Jimmy Fallon's show?
Oh,
and he let him rub his hair, and how it just came all apart because they were trying to prove that his hair was real. Crazy.
I don't matter, dude. Have you seen Facebook? Have you seen where they put people's hair on?
No.
Dude, there's this one. They were doing this black dude's hair, right? And they shaved him up on the side really, really close. Now, he's bald on the top. So they shaved all that down. And they take this, it was almost like, I don't know, like 3-4 inch curls, right? And it was on a net. And they put it on his head. And they glued it on like circle and glued that shit right on, right? And then they go back in and they trim the edge and they cut the hair down, and they're sitting there with a comb and the dude's tugging on his hair, it's not coming off. They could glue his hair down and it not come off.
I've seen a weave put on like that with I've seen it on, and then when they take it off, it was like peeling the scalp back. And sure enough, it was a weave and they had scalping hair on it there. Yeah, it was incredible.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny. I never knew when I worked in Oakland, because I worked in Hayward, so there was a lot of African American women that came in. There's a lot of comedians like Gary Owen that talks about it when they come in, and they don't use like the palm of their hand. It's like that, like right below the fingers, that little bar, and they're tapping their head.
That's how they scratch their head. They can't scratch their hair. They actually have to dap it.
So. Just in case if you ever date a black girl, you can't touch her head, you can't pull her hair while you're, doing the action. Just make sure you don't touch her hair. You'll be all right.
Speaking of Oakland, I got a story.
Uh-oh.
I used to work for a rental car place, and my wife has family in San Jose.
Okay.
So we had a shuttle bus that we'd pick up people from the airport and bring them to the rental location because we were off airport. And they needed that bus in San Francisco. So they said, you want to take the bus to San Francisco and just drive back. So I worked it out to where I would go. We went up there like one day, and I was able to stay 2 or 3 days up there.
Right. And
just drive a regular car back. So I took my wife and my mother-in-law. So we went up there, and at the time, there's no GPS. There's only, there's nothing. Got lost in Oakland.
Ooh-wee.
In a big rental car shuttle bus.
Uh-oh.
I'm making 3-point turnabouts in these streets trying to get back over the bridge. I guess I went on a wrong bridge. I have no idea.
Yeah.
When we finally got to her aunt's house, we were talking about how we got lost. And her guy cousin says, "You got lost in Oakland?" I said, "Yeah, I guess." "Oh, you don't want to be in Oakland after dark?" I said, "I was in a rental car bus." "They don't care. That's a party bus for a couple of days until the police find out." Yep. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Dog, let me tell you.
I remember hold on.
Go ahead.
I remember we only drove through Oakland at night once, and he goes, look at this corner, and this corner, and this corner. In this corner, prostitutes.
Everywhere.
My first time seeing a hooker.
My youngest son, right? I took him because he was, I want this, I want that, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, dude, you know what? Let me show you. And he'd be like, I don't want to go to school, but I'm going to take you down this street and I'm going to show you what happens if you start doing drugs and you start, because, after dark, that's what's out, right? So I'm taking him down International. It's like 12th Street now is what they call it. And I'm going up this street and he starts giggling in the back seat. He said, hey, Dad, did you see the prostitute? And he was like 7 at the, how the hell you know about prostitute? That's a big ass word for you. How do you know about that? So he started telling me that he had watched his show with his mom or whatever. It was just funny that I took him to go do one thing and he's seeing prostitutes and getting all. But I worked in Hayward. And I worked for Aaron's, which is a furniture rental company.
Okay.
So I was a collections manager. So if people didn't pay, I had to go knock on their door.
No, you did.
Dog, I used to walk on doors until 9 o'clock at night in Oakland. Oakland is one of the safest cities in the world. I don't care what anybody says.
Are you being serious right now?
No.
Okay.
like part of it, because I used to be like, dude, you're crazy. What are you doing knocking? Dude, you know what? If you walk to the door and you go at it with respect, they know why you're there. Nobody's gonna bother you. Like, yeah, you got to lock your door and make sure you keep the lock shut on the, what do you call it? You got to make sure where you're parking that you can get out. You got to make sure that, like, we had gone to when I first started, right? I'll tell you what, my first fucking day, right? They take him down to Oakland with you to go doing collections. All right, cool. So I go and we go down this street. So here's the freeway and then here's the Coliseum, right? Where Oakland plays.
Okay.
Or where they used to play. Well, right behind it was this little neighborhood. It was kind of like dream homes. It was one way in and one way out. Right? But it was just like a little U and it had a street down the middle of it. So they said, we got to go down to this little neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. I said, you know your way, right? Because I don't know. I said, I'll tell you what, if we get to the door, don't stand in front of it, stand to the side of it. Shit happens, dude. If you know what I mean? Because if you don't know we're coming and they're drugged out, you come knocking on their door, banging all hard, they're going to shoot through the door. They're going to come kick it open. You're going to get knocked their teeth out.
Right.
So don't stand in front of the door. All right. So we're driving down this street, dude, and this girl, and it looked like the sister from Felicia from Friday. Shit you not, dude. But she was like 15 years old, dude, maybe 16. And she walks out and we're driving down. She stands in front of the truck and she comes over to my, hey, baby, how you doing? I looked at the dude that I was with and he said, yeah. And he said, you looking for a girlfriend? I said, nah, baby, I'm looking for some furniture for some money. You got either one of them? Baby, you got the wrong ones. They down there. I was like, oh my God, dude. Like total culture shock. You know what I mean? Like everybody down there, oh yeah, I'm hood. You don't know nothing about hood until you've been to like a place like Oakland. Like that shit, everybody's got to fucking hustle. So I'm going down this street and he wants to park and go to this lady's house, but we're driving and we drive by these guys. There was 4 guns on the hood of a car that they were sitting next to. There was bottles that they were drinking from, and they were all playing craps on the street. And the house that he wanted to go to was like 3 houses up to the right. I said, there's no way. I said, you just keep driving, dude. I said, why? We got to go. I don't care. Keep going. I said, because what we're going to do is we're going to knock on the door. She's going to come out and she's going to get loud. And then those 4 guys that have been drinking all night are going to fucking come over here and we're going to have to deal with that. And I'm going to have to call your mom and tell her that you're dead. Because I'm getting the fuck out of here. I know I can make it out. Dude, there were some scary situations. Like one time.
What about the Egyptian dude?
Oh, one time we had gone down. I don't even remember the story. Do you remember it?
I just remember that you knocked on the dude's door and he comes out all loud.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was in his front yard for about, 45 minutes arguing with him about the payment. And then I needed to come in to get my shit back.
In Oakland.
In Oakland.
Hayward.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, dude, I said, I'm just here to pick up my merchandise. I know that we've been trying to get in. You get the fuck out here. Nobody pay you. I don't pay for shit. Well, sir, I'm sorry. That's not the way it works. I said, I don't know how it works where you're from. I said, but unfortunately, if you don't make the payments,
he was a dick back then.
What?
He was a dick back then.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was awful. And then, no, motherfucker, you leave now. look, sir, I can't allow you to steal my merchandise. Who are you calling fucking thief? I kill you. And just 45 minutes, dude, back and forth with this guy. Finally, I had to leave because I wasn't getting anywhere with him. But back then, I was angry. So, you know what I mean? It was fun to go and rile these people up. And because nine times out of 10, I could rile them up and get them to call the store. And then my boss would pick up the phone and, okay, well, you know, I'm sorry that blah, 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 and get a payment out of them. You know what I mean? I had one guy one time, he pulled a knife. He didn't pull a knife, but he had been chopping up vegetables at his counter. And I knocked on the door and he brought the knife with him to the door. And the dude that was working with me was like, I'm going to wait in the truck. Like, you motherfucker, dude. And he's standing there twirling the knife, telling me, I said, dude, you know why I'm here. Like, we talk all the time, dude. I let you have your time. I can't wait anymore. You know what I mean? Well, you ain't coming in to get the TV. I said, is that right? I said, how much you want to make a bet you're going to make me a payment before I leave, though? No, I can't do that. Is that right? So his old lady came home while I'm doing it. And she fucking leans into this dude. How the fuck you gonna let that motherfucker stand out in front? All these motherfucking neighbors know we owe money now about this big ass motherfucking TV. You ain't got no job to pay for it, and now I gotta pay for the motherfucker. Sir, how much I owe? Told you. Like, fuck, dude. It was. And when the first day that I went, it was this little Filipino kid. And this black dude, right? Real skinny guy though, like real skinny. But he was a funny cat, and he rapped. So like he wasn't into the bad shit or anything like that, right? He was a good kid. And hey, we want you to go to this house with us to go field visit, because every time we go, he tries to like intimidate us. He tries to scare us. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'll go with you. So I went and I pulled his file while they were loading shit up. This dude was like 280 pounds, 6'3" on his driver's license.
Right.
I was like, holy shit. All right, let's go. So, and in Oakland, as you know, driving that fucking party bus, streets aren't fucking very wide.
Not at all.
And people park on both sides of the street, headed in both directions or all in the same direction. They don't give a fuck. And you got to try to maneuver that truck through there. Some of those streets are dead ends. And you got to figure out how to back that motherfucker up all the way out or onto somebody's lawn or whatever, right? So we had gone, and the apartment complexes out there, because they're so old, are like the hallways are really narrow. So like, you know, I'm a big boy now. So like going down the hallways, I mean, I was inches away from rubbing my shoulders on the fucking wall, right? But this one was like an open-faced apartment complex. And it was 2-story, and we backed the truck up right to his door, because I said, we're gonna get out, and we're gonna get out with the dolly, and I'm gonna go to his door. I says, I want you guys to come with me so you can see how I do this. So I go and I said, but one of you guys stay in the truck and leave it in reverse, because it just beeps while you're in a beep. Yeah. I said, I will annoy the shit out of him until he comes out, and then I'll deal with it when he comes out. All right. So they sat there, beep, and I'm sitting, knocking. The people from upstairs, why don't you put that motherfucker in park already? God damn it. Then they're stomping on, come out and talk to this motherfucker so he can leave already. This dude came to the door, right? And I'm not talking shit, but the house was dark inside, right? And the screen door was white. And I'm trying to see through the screen door to see who I'm talking to, and he's kind of a dark fellow too, right? So I couldn't really see him all that well until the motherfucker smiled and I saw his gold tooth. And I was like, holy, because I had to look up to see the gold tooth. I was like, God damn, you're a big boy. I was like, hey man, I said, I'm here for a payment of the furniture. My old lady made the payment already. Oh, okay. Well, can you give me the receipt real quick? That way I can leave. I just want to see it. I have to verify it before I go. My old lady made the payment. Okay. She in the shower. I said, okay, well, I'll wait if you want to go talk to her. Man, she in the shower. I said, come on, Pippin, you going to tell me that your old lady locked the door on you? Go in there and go talk to her. Man, you a motherfucker. Hold on, let me get some money. I'll make you a payment. All right, cool. So, like, if you just talk to them the right way, if you just talk to people the right way, and you do it without being disrespectful, you'll get your way.
I'm finding it hard to believe that a bill collector is going to get treated nicely. And I can appreciate your stories, but damn, I would always think a bill collector come knocking at the door.
Well, but it's different though, because these guys, the people that we were dealing with, 9 times out of 10, they would get loud and scare somebody off. You know what I mean? Like the guys that were going before me, they would knock on the door and he would just sit there and be quiet and hard and they would leave. But I mean, you've known me for a long time, dude. It's like talking shit. I always call it the dance. Hey, do you have a payment? No. Do you have somebody you can borrow it from?
Right.
Can I tell blah, 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 right? You know where they're going. I know I want to get a payment. I'll dance you till I get there. Right? Like,
Right.
it is what it is, right? So, and I had a woman come in one time and she came in to pay me because I had been at her door and she probably, look, I'll be there tomorrow. Just don't fucking come back. Okay. I said, I'll do that. If you come in tomorrow, I won't be back. Okay. So she came in the next day and she said, you a motherfucker. She said, but you fair. So we cool. All right. I mean, that's
I met that lady at some point.
Yeah.
Because we would go into, me and my little brother would go in there all the time with him and just hang out.
You took your son bill collecting with you?
No,
Crazy.
not Bill, in the store.
Hey, whoa, wait. Time out. No, but there was one time where I had gone, somebody had gone bill collecting and the dude was pissed off. It was about a fridge, I think, or some shit. And he came into the store and I saw him coming. They were, hey, that guy's here. I told the kids, I said, don't come out of this fucking office. I don't care what you see.
I remember that.
You stay right in the office and don't come out. I'll be right back.
I think we were eating our Wendy's, watching out the window.
Yeah, and I went out there to talk to the guy, and he was just he was livid, and he was ex-military, and he's, trying to tell me all kinds of shit about that I was disrespecting him because he was in the military and all this. I said, hey, listen, dude. I said, when you were approved, it had nothing to do with you being in the military. I appreciate your service. I'm glad that you were able to do that. Unfortunately, we run a business. And you signed that you were going to make the payments. That's your signature, right? Yeah? Okay, so you signed that you were going to make the payments. How are you trying to make it my bad coming to you because you haven't made them?
Right.
And we would just go back and forth. And sometimes I can get through to them like that. And sometimes people would just be upset and just want to argue.
Well, then again, I would think if you did take the kids on your runs, it's a sympathy aspect.
Right.
I can't feed my kids unless I get a payment from you, sir.
Right.
Boom. Sebastian could have been like, Daddy, are we going to eat tonight?
Right.
Give him all these cue points.
See,
Right.
That's where the holes in my shoes come from.
Yeah,
That's where the positive note from that comes from.
hold on. I'm not talking shit, okay? But Sebastian was a little chubby kid, so ain't nobody going to believe he wasn't eating.
Was?
He ain't a kid no more.
I've changed. You act like I've changed.
When you were talking about the person working with you, and you said, "I'm gonna get out of here. You can get killed. I'm gonna get out of here."
Right.
It reminds me of the story of our buddy Rick. I went up to San Francisco once to visit him, and he had a buddy who was, I don't know if it was Armenian, Arabic, or something. So he had kind of that accent. It was a really thick accent. He was a cool dude. We were walking around downtown San Francisco, and we went to some shady streets. Why, I have no idea. I think we saw a transvestite roll somebody, come running out of an alley. Crazy stuff I saw. But we were walking down the street, the three of us, and there was like 4 or 5 dudes walking towards us as well. And so all 3 of us at the same time noticed. All 3 of us at the same time got scared. Let me put it that way. So
he saw what corner he was walking, and he said, "Fuck it, it's there."
So. I think it was myself or Rick says, "Oh, maybe we should cross the street. Maybe we, okay, fellas, let's be prepared in case something goes down." It was whispered. So his buddy says, "It's okay, Rick. I have my knife with me." And so we looked at each other, and Rick goes, "All right, that's cool. I'll be sure to pull it out of your stomach when I start running."
It's funny because the dude with the knife's usually the one to get hurt first. You know what I mean? It's funny that you say that, dude, because San Francisco, if you've never fucking been there, okay? Now, If you stay in the metropolis where like Girdelli Square's at and
Right,
the
right.
wharf and all that shit,
The tourist
that's
spots.
no problem.
Yeah.
Once you get past
That's
that
just
little
a lot of
street
Asians.
where it's really windy, that Italian, once you get past that, you going into a whole different realm,
What is
right?
it, Lombardi?
Lombardi Street, Lombardo, something like that.
Yeah.
If you go to the southwest side of San Francisco, I believe is where it's at. Like just above Daly City. Like Daly City's a big Filipino population. If you go above that, on that bottom corner of San Francisco, it's Samoan. I didn't know that they had a really big Samoan population in San Francisco. Like, you know what I mean? How do I put this without sounding like an asshole, right? Like, Mexicans in most places live together, black,
Right,
you know what I mean?
Boroughs.
Same kind of shit. You go and they all
It's the neighborhood,
live
yeah.
together, right? So there was this apartment complex, right? And it was on, holy shit, dude. I don't scare easy. And that shit scared the shit out of me, dude. Because you had to walk down this, like, you drive up, right? And it's uphill, first of all. And I'm fat, so I don't do good uphill. So you park, and then the top of it comes back around this way. And there's like, I don't know if it was like tennis ball courts or some basketball courts or something that were in front of the apartment complex. But there was...
Tennis ball courts is a stretch, kid. Come on.
Yeah.
It's got to be basketball.
Yeah. So on that upper right-hand side, at the peak of that little hill, behind just past the basketball courts, there was another hill that went up, and it went down into like a gully, right? But what I would call a gully, I don't know what. Anyways, so there was two guys standing up there. Couldn't see who the fuck they were. But I came through the hallway with one other person. And as soon as we turned, I turned to the right. He turned to the left. And he said, the dude's up top, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you better get the fuck out the neighborhood. Ain't nobody want you here. And I turned around and I looked at him and I said, we got about fucking 10 minutes. And we got to get the fuck out of here. I said, that's it. No more than that. So I go. And, the last name was like Falila or Falala, or they all have that one fucking last name it was weird out there, right? So go and I knock on the fucking door. Sure enough, dude, fucking big ass Samoan dude. I don't know. There was like 5 different Samoan people that were living in a 2-bedroom apartment that didn't look like they belonged in a 2-bedroom apartment. They were fucking big, bro. And I was there to pick up a fucking, a freezer, like a deep freeze, like the little one that I have in there.
Right.
And they have shit all over it. They've got candles on top of it. Dude, the payment was like $35. And I was like, hey, I said, you guys almost have it paid off. I really don't want to pick it up. Like, I mean, my job is to get you to ownership, but I need you to help me out. You know what I mean? If you can give me the $35 today, I'll do this and then I'll extend your payment out, whatever I can do to get you out, right? Between the fucking 5 of them, they didn't have the $35, right? And I'm like, well, okay, well, how much do you have? I said, because I got about 5 fucking minutes before those dudes come down that fucking hill. So how much money do you have? So they had like $25, dude. I took it. I said, look, I'm going to give you an extension to get you to this date. Don't make me come back, because if I come back, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to ask no questions. There's not going to be any. No problem. We take care. Okay, cool. Then we got the fuck out of there, dude. Like, it was crazy. Like I said, I don't creep out that easily, but that shit wigged me out.
That reminds me of a story. It was quite a while back, but probably when I was 17, 18. I went with a buddy of mine. He was dating a girl, an Indian, on the res over in Banning. And so we went over there. I guess he wanted to see her. I don't remember exactly. I don't know if you remember him. First name is Joey A.
Yes.
And so he was dating a girl on the I think it was Joey. Anyways, so we go into this 2-story apartment complex, and he tells me, dude, there's going to be a guy sitting on a couch. He's always there. Whatever you do, don't look at him. Shady apartment complex. It's at night. I drove him there. Sure enough, we walk into his apartment. There's a dude on the couch. And it was one of those things that when they tell you not to look,
That's
what are you
one
going
of
to
those
do?
things you
You
do.
want to look. So I'm looking one way, but my eyes, it's like an eye magnet. I'm looking at this dude on the couch like, okay, I'm not supposed to look at him, but why?
Right.
So I got to look at him to make sure nothing's going to happen to me because I don't know why I'm not supposed to look at him.
Right.
Indian dude, humongous. At this point in my memory, he's looking at a TV that's just snow. I don't remember. I just remember this dude was crazy, and I'm not supposed to be looking at him. And all I'm thinking is, what am I doing here? Do you just want to stay because I'm ready to go?
Why didn't I stay in the car?
Right.
No, staying in the car would probably been worse. At least I was with somebody that looked like he knew what he was supposed to be doing.
You don't fuck with res boys.
No, that was a tough one.
Oof. I had gone to a res in Blythe one time, or in Parker, on the Arizona side. Yeah, that's a little. But you know what's trippy though is I used to do title loans out in Arizona when I was there for a little while, and like on cars. And most people, if they're late on their payment after like 10 days, 16 days, I think it is, we can go pick up the car.
Wow.
But if you were native and you took your car onto the res, we couldn't send a tow truck onto the res to get it.
Oh yeah, you it's a whole different world.
You can't serve them on the res. And even if you did, you'd have to serve them for court on the reservation, and your lawyers probably can't get okayed to do law on the res.
That's one of the reasons why on the last episode when we were talking about Seabass's birthday and the fact that they might not serve alcohol between, let's say, 2 and 4 a.m., it's on Indian lands, the res, pretty much. So they might not follow those laws. They might not have to.
And you know what I remembered about it being his birthday? The first is daylight savings time. It goes back an hour, so you get an extra hour of drinking, my friend.
Woo!
So
I'm gonna die.
There will definitely be
Death.
vomit in your future.
Whatever.
Near death, maybe.
I think I've lived through worse.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
I remember one time puking so bad that I swear to God, I felt like my eyeballs were going to pop out.
I remember popping a blood vessel. Well, I didn't throw up, to be fair. Had an anxiety attack, and I'm sitting there over the toilet just fucking heaving. Nothing's coming out. I popped a blood vessel up here and filled both of my eyes with blood.
Bad, dude. Bad.
I look like El Diablo.
So the year we graduated, and I've told you part of this story before. So me and one of the Yakovich brothers, we were at Maurice's house, and we were drinking tequila that his mom brought from Mexico, and it was just in a clear jar, and it was about a gallon, and we were drinking it, and we started headbutting each other, and we ended up, he headbutted me, and I was so drunk I forgot that we had been doing that, and the person I was talking to was, the fuck you do that for? So I hauled off and I hit him, and then he turned around and looked at me, and I ran outside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And he was chasing me around the cars out in the parking lot or out in the front yard. We ended up hitting each other. I ended up in the bushes. I woke up in the morning, and they fuckers had written all over me.
Yeah.
And I peed myself.
Yeah, he did.
Because I was too drunk to wake up to go to the bathroom. Just peed. But I was hurt when that happened.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of stopped hanging out with everybody.
I actually think that's probably one of the last times we hung out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But may I say my side of that story?
Yeah, no.
Or my point of view from that?
Yeah.
Or what I saw. What he said was true. Him and this other gentleman, Mike, were getting into it outside. And I think you guys were doing it outside because we kicked you out because it started inside.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to ruin Mojo's house.
Yeah.
They wanted to give us more room.
So they're out there running around, and we're like kids looking out the front window, watching. Oh, we're laughing,
these two
pointing,
kids fucking fight
and
each
they're
other.
fighting. So Mingo comes running back to get inside the house. And so somebody saw it and slammed the front door in his face to where it was like, as soon as he got to the door, this door got slammed. He turned around and all he saw was Mike coming with a fist and just clocked him into the bushes. And so we were like, oh my God. So, I don't remember exactly what happened after that, but yeah, he was on the couch. And, hey, at that age, you pass out first. You're getting written on.
Yeah.
We're drawing
dicks.
Yeah, on your face.
So, go ahead.
He pissed himself in the morning. And yeah, I remember you were really embarrassed, which I don't blame you. We fucked you, we screwed you over because we wrote on you all. And honestly, yeah, you left. And that was probably the beginning of the end as far as, our closeness.
Right. Yeah, no, I because where I like the whole thing was like, fuck, these guys are like, they're supposed to be my friends, they're supposed to be the people that take care of me, but this shit happens and it'll fucking ride all over. What the fuck, right? So
yeah, you're right.
So I woke up and I'm fucking pissed myself. My face hurts, like, and I'm like, fuck, I can't fucking go home with all this shit written all over myself, smelling like piss and alcohol, because my dad's gonna hit me on the other side of the face, right? So I was still fucking gone. I drove from Gene Autry all the way down to Coachella, past where I work on Cesar Chavez, past where I worked to those apartments where my sister lived, and I stayed there for 3 fucking days. Because it took me 2 days to get over the hangover and 2 days to get all the ink off of me. And then I went home. But I was like, yeah, dude,
That's a trip. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I don't know how I got there. Because when I got there and I came up the stairs, my sister was like, what the fuck happened to you? And I started telling her, I said, I just need to sleep. I'm still drunk. I don't know how the fuck I got here. So she said, all right, go ahead, go take a shower and go to sleep. And give me your clothes. I'll go fucking wash them. So I wore the same clothes for a couple of days, but I couldn't go home. I still had all the fucking marks on my face and shit. And I called him, like, yeah, no, I'm down here. Corey's, no, everything's cool. Yeah, I'll be home later. All right, bye.
Good times, though.
Fuck yeah. That shit happens. One of the favorite stories, though, from when we were hanging out was, and I don't remember if you were there or not. I think you were, but I don't know if you were in the backyard for Aguas con el Botón. When, God damn it, I don't remember his name. Used to be the kid that hang out, Ada's sister.
Yeah. I don't remember his name either.
So this kid he had a really large nose. And extremely large. And I used to make so much fucking fun of the kid. Like, it was just awful. And I reflect back at it and I'm like, God damn. That poor fucking kid. Like, I used to tell him, dude, your nose is so big you got to pick up your head like this, and so you could just turn your head over. Like, and I'm thinking, oh, holy shit. Like, anyways, so if that wasn't bad enough, it was my 20th birthday, and my friend Manny from Phoenix, right? Okay. His birthday is the 20th of September. His dad's birthday is the same day as mine. So every year when we were close, we would all hang out up there and we would party. And his dad would let us get shit-faced. And he had talked to my dad and say, look, the boys are going to drink. They're here with us. You don't have to worry about anything. We'll take care of them. Okay, cool. So I was up there and I'm fucking drinking and I'm gone, right? Well, this dude that I used to make fun of, his dad came over. And I don't know if you remember his dad, but his dad was he was a small man in stature.
I remember short, yeah.
Very dark, right? And he's sitting in the backyard, and when he came in, he had a button-down shirt, and it fit right, okay? But he had eaten.
So it didn't fit right.
And he was drinking, and the shirt started to kind of stretch a little bit, and the button was on the edge of the cloth. And I was sitting there, and he said something to me. Hey, I was going to the Botón way. He's what? That motherfucker's about to shut up. She popped me in the eye, dude. That motherfucker wanted to climb over the table and beat my ass. And Manny's dad, his name is Manny too, was sitting there fucking laughing, holding, no, you don't know what he's saying. Stop that shit. Say, what's going on, way? All fucking night, bro. So fucking disrespectful. I felt so bad, but it was, what can I do?
You know, I have to give Manuel's parents so much props because they used to let us party at their house.
Yeah.
Because they were the type that knew we were going to be drinking. We were going to be having a good time. We were young, underage, of course. And they were like, we'd rather have it happen here.
Right.
Everybody could stay the night. Never gave us any shit. His dad would party with us.
Yeah.
And his mom would make us food if we got hungry. And
She
I was,
could cook,
dude, the best times over there. They had no problems with anybody coming over at any time, always hanging out, drinking, getting drunk.
Yep.
My wife and I, we tried doing that too for our kids.
I you know what? I'm kind of that way with Milo a little bit, but the thing is, he doesn't drink. He does other stuff, and he smokes weed. And I don't necessarily want to watch him. I would much rather see him, I guess, have a few beers than high, and I don't know why.
Finish your story, but let's talk about why that is, because that happened on that subject. Because now that it's legal, why do we still
For
have
people
that?
over age.
Why do we still have that mentality
That
towards it?
stigmatism?
But go ahead with the story
Which one? Where was I at?
about your son Milo
Oh,
getting high.
so like he was doing it, and I knew that he was doing it, and I hey, Mijo, look, I can't be with you everywhere. I can't keep you from doing it.
It's the whole reason he's here, to be fair.
Right. If you want to do it, I get it. Now's the time to do it because you're young. Get it out of your system and be done with it.
Right.
I said, but A, you don't drive with it. You don't drive while you've been smoking it. If you're somewhere and you've taken too much or you've smoked too much and you can't fucking focus, call me. I'll come get you. No questions asked. I'll just come get you and bring you home. No problem. I don't have a problem with you doing that. If you're going to smoke it, you go in the backyard or out front. I don't want you smoking it in the house. I don't even smoke my own weed now. I'm just kidding. So I told him, I said, I don't want you smoking out front or out back, or you could smoke out front, out back. I don't want it in the house.
Right.
Sebastian really doesn't like the smell of it. And he probably has a harder time with him smoking than I do because he believes kind of like a gateway, right?
It's not that. I don't like what he is when he does it. He is who he is because of that. I attribute him doing that because of who he hung out with up there.
But you've never done it. You've never tried it, right?
No. Don't ask me to. I don't want to.
I'm not. I'm asking because you guys are so different. Like, you're okay drinking and you like the way it feels, that just kind of like that little head change. Now, I don't understand, like, because the weed that we were around as, youngsters is nothing like the shit today, right? Like, leaps and bounds. And part of it, and I'll tell you what my problem is with now that it's legal, because it's not a flower anymore.
I was going to say, now you got varieties, you got different ways of doing it.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's not so much because now they're using chemicals to grow it so that it grows faster. They're mixing shit with it so that it gives you a different flavor, a different this, a different that. It's no longer a natural flower. Like when we had it, even if you had Mexican shake, like, it was real.
Right.
It was, you had to wait for it to fucking grow and it
was natural.
Right. Nowadays, hey, give me a fucking week, I'll have you a whole new, you know what I mean? A whole new batch.
Right.
Right? So that's not natural anymore. That's where my problem comes because then it's a totally different sensation. I can't tell you where smoking this kind of weed will take you. How addictive it is, how different it is from the weed that we smoked or that we were around, what the long term is going to be. Make sense?
Yes. It's too new to know what can happen to the body in a sense.
Correct.
Okay.
The other problem that I have with it is that because he's, 16, 17, and I know, 17, almost 18, that, and people are going to fucking say what they want, that it's not a gateway drug or whatever, but it kind of is. And it's kind of a gateway drug for people that are looking to numb themselves from reality. Like people that have had a hard life, or that things were wrong in their growing up, and all these different situations that lead them to go from, drinking really hard and start to self-medicate with weed. And then weed isn't enough, so they start doing speed, or they start doing coke, and next they're mixing coke with the weed, and then heroin.
Damn.
Like you know what I mean? Like I know there's a
You
few
went from
things in
A to
between
Z
those two.
quick.
Yeah.
Just wrapping it up for the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Now just
A, B, Z.
right? But you just don't know where that leads to, and especially when he first got here, he had come here because him and his mom were on two different wavelengths. She was busy trying to hold on to him, and him being the little 9-year-old, 10-year-old
Because I had left.
Milo that she knew. So all of her attention went towards Milo after he left. And then she started to see him start turning into a young boy, a young man, saying, "Hey, I need a little bit of fucking freedom."
Right.
And she wasn't ready to let go. And she squeezed tighter, which pushed him away. So when he came here, it was, for me, I thought, okay, well, she was squeezing him really hard, and that's what he went to. So I'm going to take a hands-off approach of, hey, you know what? Do what you got to do, and get it the fuck out of your system. Which I've reached my arms back around him and reeled him back in, because that didn't have the effect that I was looking for.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think it allowed him to get all that negative energy out of him. Would you agree? For the most
To
part?
an extent.
So now it's okay, hold them accountable for shit. This is what you got to do. Get a job, get blah, 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 and put all those things in motion. And tell them, okay, you think that at 18 that's a magic number and that the world falls at your feet, that you become a man. I said, you don't have a fucking job. You can't pay for your way in life. You're not a man. You call me and ask me for money for you to take your girl out to eat. I said, that's not a man. That's not what a man does. A man, like when I was your age at 16, 17, I had 2 fucking jobs.
Yep.
Because I wanted to be able to pay for my own shit. Because I didn't want my dad to be able to come to me and say, hey, you can't go anywhere tonight. Bullshit. I paid for the car and I paid for the gas in it. I'll see you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's just that kind of ownership and that kind of, but those are the things that we were instilled with. That's how we grew up. And we were too easy giving him shit when he was young, that now that he's, 17, 18, it's become a gimme because you owe me. Yeah, fuck that. I don't owe you anything but a roof over your head, shoes on your feet, and food in your tummy.
For about another year,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No. Couple months.
Yeah. It's December 16th, he turns 18.
Oh, is that right?
Yup. Guess what? December 17th, rent due. You know what I mean?
But back to the... would you consider beer to be a gateway alcohol to the harder alcohol? When you say weed could be the gateway drug to harder drugs, beer is a gateway alcohol to harder alcohol. That's how you become an alcoholic and versus a drug addict.
No, because I went straight to hard alcohol. I'm not going to sit here and fucking lie. I can't drink beer.
Don't get me wrong, beer gets me bloated. I mean, it's great once in a while, but yeah, I'm kind of done with beer itself too.
Yeah, I'd rather like Bacardi and Coke, or
Right.
Come home and give me a little sniff of Red Label or Black Label, or something nice just to sit down and sip on. But
well, back to the gateway issue, and only because again, the stigma of weed now is still there. However, it's legal. So why do we still have the stigma? Are we just not used to it being legal?
no, I think the stigma is that it's not what it used to be. In the fact that now it's manufactured. And yes, weed is legal, but so is wax.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that's an extraction of the plant. Well, none of these guys are fucking scientists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there may be a couple people out there that are scientists that have gone to school and know all this and understand the extraction process and have done it through education. And there's guys that have been taught fucking watching YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing with doing coke and the same thing with doing fucking, what do you call it? They're not fucking Walter fucking White. You know what I mean? Like, none of these guys are in a fucking minivan out in the desert because they're a scientist trying to create great fucking speed. There are a couple of fucking hillbillies with a couple of things of radiator fluid and some fucking acetaminophen trying to get high.
You know a lot about how to make this shit, and it kind of scares me.
I've been around.
Terminology coming out of you is like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they have some liquids and they have some powders that they put
Yeah.
together.
That's more what I expected out of you. Even if you did know the words.
Right? So, how do you justify saying that weed is, yes, it's legal, but
Yeah, I'm equating it to when they used to put pot in brownies. Okay?
right?
Who you got a big tray of brownies, how do you know that this piece doesn't have more than that piece?
Right.
And so, like you're saying, you don't know, you're taking it, you don't know if you're taking a piece that doesn't have a lot
Right.
versus a piece that does have a lot.
Correct.
And the effects might take longer to cut, so you might have more than one brownie because you didn't really realize, you don't really know what's going on.
Well, and a lot of people will eat them and say, oh, well, nothing's going on, so they eat it a little bit more, and then the next thing you know, they're fucking tripping balls. So,
My buddy Jake,
yeah.
we play Call of Duty sometimes, and he's like, I'm going to take an edible. Okay. So he'll take it in about 10 minutes, and I don't feel anything. I'm going to take another one. 20 minutes. Like, he's like, I got to go. Okay.
I gotta go. There's some machine gun outside my window.
Yeah. Funniest shit in the world.
It's something I heard, and I don't know if it's true, but there's something about edibles that once the weed or the THC hits your stomach, there's some sort of acid or some kind of reaction in your stomach that makes it more like LSD, that makes it more
Potent.
more potent, more like a hallucinogenic, and that more people have gone to the hospital eating edibles than by smoking.
Wow, okay.
That's a higher percentage because, again, they take it, no effect. Next thing you know, they eat the whole fucking bag of gummies. You know what I mean?
You ever hear the recording of he was a police officer?
Yeah.
I think time has stopped. I don't. Please help me.
Yeah.
He snitched on himself.
Right? Holy shit.
Have you ever done? I love it. I go to the dentist. I'm deathly scared of the dentist. And I would get numbing shots, all in my gums when they had to clean my teeth.
Right.
'Cause I can't take the feeling of them grinding.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
And the sound, it just freaks me out. And then one time the dentist tells me, "Have you ever considered nitrous?" And I was
Really?
like, "No." And then
Novocaine?
yeah. Well, no,
No, it's laughing gas,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So I said, "No." He's like, "You really should. It's extra, but at least try it once." And I said, "Well, what's going to happen?"
Why is this doctor peer pressuring me?
he says, he tells me you're just gonna be loopy, and I was like, okay, I'll
Look,
try
the first 3 puffs are free. Next time you come in, bitch.
I'll tell you what, that first time, I know what drug addicts go through because it was incredible. I swear to God, leaving the dentist, I was still thinking,
Fuck, that feels good.
is this? Am I in the real world right now? Or is this still? Am I hallucinating? It took me about half an hour to come down.
Really?
And I take it every time I go. Every time. They know when Mr.
Right.
Tony comes in, the tank better be full.
Wow.
Because
Jesus
it's not happening
Christ.
unless it is. They ran out on me once.
Really?
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of it because they were swapping out the tank. Because it takes a while to because you breathe in oxygen.
Right.
So to wake up. And so I woke up and they're over there with the Allen wrench trying to get the new tank in. I'm like, hurry up, I'm losing my buzz. So I went right back to sleep.
I kind of had something like that too. Remember when I broke my left arm?
Oh, yeah.
I was little. You weren't there, but because it wasn't. It was we're not going to talk about that yet. So I'd broken my left arm, and the way that it broke is this part of the arm went under and pushed underneath this section of bone. So I had to go in and fix it. So I'm going there, and they're trying to give me the anesthesia with the needle.
Ooh.
And they're fucking tapping, and they're like, okay, we're going to do it. So they put a cold spray on, so I couldn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything, but I know a needle's going inside of me.
Right.
So I'm crying like a bitch. I'll admit it. Fuck it.
Right?
Happened a while ago. So this one Indian doctor, why are you crying? I'm like, I'm in pain. It hurts. He said, you want to feel better? I know the way it sounds now. It's like, come get in my bed. I've got candy. But he said, this is gonna make you feel a little good. So he fucking puts a shot of whatever it is, and I felt this cold rush through my body, and I just started giggling.
Shit.
Oh my
It's the
god!
best.
And then after I can't remember what story I told, but it was a pretty great story from what I remember.
Dude, the best I've ever felt is, and it's going to sound really weird, but after Milo was born, me and my ex had talked about, okay, well, are you going to have the surgery or am I? Right? And she was all like, well, if I have to have him by C-section, I'll just get it done. She said, but if not, you get it done because it's an in-office procedure. I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that shit. Like, whatever. So she didn't have a C-section. She had him natural. So I was up. So I go in and, do the prep with the doctor, whatever. And then I go back and he says, oh, well, did you shave? And I was like, well, yeah. She said, well, we'll go ahead and have her shave you and blah, blah, blah. And my wife at the time was sitting there and I'm like, okay. Right? So she shaves me and shit. And she said, oh, you did a pretty good job. I was like, thanks. So anyways, they're sitting there. The doctor comes back and he said, have you ever had liquid lidocaine? No. Okay. He said, was it lidocaine? Is that what I told you that it was?
I don't know. I wasn't there for that.
Liquid Valium.
Okay.
He said, have you ever had liquid Valium? I said, no, I've never had dry Valium. He said, all right. He says, I'm going to give you a shot. And in about 3 seconds, you're going to be 10 sheets to the wind. He says, and then you won't care what I'm doing down there.
What does that mean?
Right? I was like, all right, cool. So he gives me this shot, dude. And I shit you not. As he's putting the shot in my arm, he says, all right, count to 3. And I was 1, 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know that feeling.
I was like, hey, what is that? Like, you just feel like this. I don't know, dude. It's like I was floating on the table. I wasn't even on it. I mean, he's cutting my nutsack open and
ouch,
and pulling out the vas deferens or whatever.
We don't need to talk about it.
Cut and cauterize, so you smell it because he's burning it while he's cutting it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you just feel the tug. Don't even know what he's doing. Next thing you know, he says, all right, you're good. Have your wife help you put your pants on. I was like, what? Wait a minute. Hey, can I get more of that before I go home? It's like, no, sir, we can't give you any more, but you enjoy that.
You know, that feeling when, all right, you're done, and you're like, what? Same thing at the dentist. When they're done,
yeah.
they remove the mask. Well, it's not a mask, but it's on my nose. So you got to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth.
Okay.
That's how you're getting the gas. So, they remove the mask, and so you're starting to wake up. It takes a while, but unfortunately, it's a business. So it's like,
you gotta go.
Okay. You feeling okay?
Bye
I'm like,
now.
What? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. Okay, we'll set up your next appointment. Get your stuff. And I'm like, can't I just let me enjoy this?
Let me come down from this.
Gracefully but no, it's like, hurry up, let's go. Got somebody waiting on
Fucking
you.
turn and burn, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, man. Talk about feeling like a number, though, right? But I'll go home and enjoy it. Just like sit out in the fucking.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine sitting in a pool like that, like just on a floaty.
Yeah, just high as all get out.
Floating.
Sometimes I do sit in the waiting room for about another 5 minutes, just collect myself, just to, again, trying to come back to reality. It's a trip. You should try it once.
Gravity.
Have you ever had your eyes dilated?
No.
No?
No, I'll say no.
Do you have glasses? Do you wear glasses? You're supposed to, but you don't.
I got them. Right now, I'm at the point to where if I'm driving somewhere I don't know, I'll put them on because I don't know if it's far side or near side where I can't see far stuff.
Right.
Because I can't see the street signs until until it's too late and I passed it. So when we're driving somewhere that we don't know where we're going, I'll put them on.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the other day we were watching TV and I got the 65-inch in the living room, and I put them on for some reason, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's in HD now." So I take them off, and I feel like I'm watching a VHS movie.
It's
now.
a little blurry. Yeah.
144p, 1080p. 144p, 1080p.
Oh yeah, that's good right there. Yeah, you know what? I do the same thing when I'm I'll go in my room at the end of the night and just kind of try to wind down, watch a little bit of TV, and I'll set my phone on the side, try not to be on my phone, take my glasses off, and I'm like, wow, it takes a minute for them to adjust, and even when they're done, my eyes are done adjusting, it's still blurry. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I can't I got to put them back on. But I have a dry eye. What they call it? Dry eye. You got to put. I'm supposed to put drops in my eyes, like the jelly drops.
Wow.
2 times a day. I never fucking remember. You know what I mean? I'm get up, let's go. I'm in a hurry. I got to go, and then come home. I do all this shit, and then I just want to lay down.
You need to get in touch with your inner self and cry more.
I think I need to drink more water. I'm dehydrated. I'm about this crying shit.
And there you are drinking a Coke with 3 bottles in front of you that
I know,
are not
right?
opened.
Oh, shit. Do you find yourself, you're about the same age, right? I'm 49.
Yeah, 49.
So do you find, well, let me ask you this. When you were in high school, 18 through mid-20s, did movies make you cry?
No. Well, honestly, I think E.T. got to me,
Okay.
but that was a lot younger than 18.
Right.
I don't think I cried, but I probably could have. But at 18, no, I wasn't crying at movies.
At end of your 20s, 28 to 33, did you cry watching movies?
I probably started.
Really?
Because that's after I had kids.
Oh, okay.
Everything changed as soon as I had kids.
Yeah. Because nothing's yours. You got no money.
Way to make me feel good about being in existence.
I didn't have to cry at a movie. I just look at my bank account.
Right?
Oh, shit. Had to look at the ring on my finger.
Okay, so it started then. So you had kids, you could watch a movie a little more heartfelt.
Yes.
Do you find that it's worse now?
Yes. It's getting a lot worse.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can't watch fucking movies anymore.
Do you feel like fucking Robert De Niro in what is it? What's that? This Is It? No. Analyze This, where he's sitting on the fucking.
No, I don't cry like that, kid. No. I don't get that bad. I'll look up and trying to and start taking deep breaths so it doesn't actually come out.
Right.
So, but yeah, I could actually cry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a man.
Okay. Good. I don't feel so bad then. I'm right. I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
What movie was it?
No, you know what? It's fucking. Oh, what was it? I saw. I don't know what it was. I think I was watching Unicorn. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
That guy's a great fucking actor, by the way.
He is.
Goggins, or what's his name?
Oh, yeah. Walton Goggins.
Five head.
It was one of the first 2 episodes, and something happened, and
Naturally.
it was one of the little girls, an interaction he was having with the little girls, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like I feel it in my throat. I'm like,
The fuck is
sick?
that?
What the fuck? You know what I mean? And in my eyes, I'm like, what is this magic falling from my eyes?
It's like the Grinch.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking weird.
Feel his heart growing.
It's fucking weird, dude. Literally, I remember nothing would fucking faze me. I could see fucking, I don't know, an old man crying because his dog got hit by a car and it wouldn't bother me. Like
If anything, fucker. Like,
right?
When I start feeling it coming on, I start thinking, okay, it's just a movie. If I was there when they were filming it, there's a lunch table right here. It's being catered. I start thinking, and then I look at my wife, and she's starting to cry. So I'm like, what are you crying for? So it breaks me out of the mode of crying because I'm trying to, again, not show them that
what I'm
crying.
listening to is sad.
Why?
Stopping yourselves from crying
Well, that's
to prove your fucking manhood.
Yeah,
This is depressing to
that's
listen
the
to.
era that we grew up. Hey, don't fucking
Yeah,
cry.
kid,
You know what I mean? You
yeah.
fall down, get up, shake it off. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're in a new era. Deal with it.
No,
Yeah.
bunch of fucking pussies running around crying about shit all the
It's
time.
bad.
It is kind of bad.
Too sentimental. My wife even says I'm too sentimental these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. When your wife
I should
says
say
it.
two, but she's like, you're getting sentimental. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I am.
I think it. And wow.
Yeah,
got
I think
fucking
it. I
stuck
think
there
it.
for
I
a
think
minute.
it.
Fucking needle stuck. I think it goes the other way. I think they start getting a little angrier and bitter, and we start getting soft and how come?
Yeah, you're
know what I
probably right.
I mean, I don't know about your wife. Oh hell, I don't know about my ex-wife either anymore. But
No, my wife will cry over anything.
really,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah, she was always kind of
Yeah.
a sentimental person,
Always.
though. No, it's a trip, dude. These are the things that you have to look forward to, though. Like
Yes, you
you don't cry. You're like I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I remember growing up, I had this conversation with my dad when I remember one day my grandmother, we were down there visiting, and me and my sister were sitting next to my grandmother, and she was trying to light a cigarette, and while she was trying to light it, she had a stroke and kind of fell over on our laps, right? And my dad got up like nothing, and hey, told my mom, go get the rubbing alcohol, laid his mom down. My aunt's running around crying, hey, calm down, go call your sister, tell her what happened, and then call 911. Or the other way around, call 911 and call your sister. And so my mom comes back, and he looks at me and he says, hey, take your sister outside. Okay. So I'm sitting there, and I'm watching him through the window, dude. And they're both rubbing alcohol on my grandma so that she doesn't lose the muscle, right? It relaxes it.
Okay.
And keeps it from getting tense so that she doesn't lose any muscle. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching him, dude, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, no emotion. This motherfucker just stood up, went over there, blah, blah, okay, let's go. Shouting fucking directions, right? And he comes out and he says, you all right? Yeah, I'm okay. Okay. So then I kind of looked at him and I was like, no. I said, Dad, you're kind of a dick. Like, what? Like, how can you not cry? I said, your mom's sitting there she had a stroke and you're like nothing. And he looked at me and said, Mijo, you're not crying either. He says, but somebody has to be able to control the situation. He said, because if I'm like your tia was and we're all running around crying, who's going to call the ambulance? She would have died. Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So then we were at the funeral. So we were at the church when he was talking about her, and he was up at the pew. And dude, at this point, I was probably maybe 17, 18, and I've never seen my father cry. I think like, I don't know, a week before he died, I may have seen like a tear, or what looked like a tear out of his eye, right? And he's sitting there and he's reading, and it was the first time I had ever heard him choke up. And he stopped and he looked up, and everybody's crying at this point, right? Because everybody sees my dad the same way. Like, he's like this pillar of strength. Like, so to see him choke up was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And he looked up and he just took a deep breath, turned right back down and kept on reading. Didn't break again. Right? I thought, God damn. So we go to the funeral, to the lot. And, like now all my aunts that like daughter-in-laws to my grandma are crying, and this big hoopla, and all the brothers are crying, and my dad's not. He's still just standing there. And afterwards he came to me and he said, you okay? I said, yeah, Dad, but why aren't you crying? I said, that was your mom. That was it. She said, you're going to put her in the ground. Like, how can you not cry? He said, well, Mijo, that was your grandmother and you're not crying. What are you asking me? I said, what do you want from me? I said, emotion. Like, that's your mom. He said, well, but I have to be the strength for everybody else. Look at everybody else. Look at all your uncles. They're all sitting crying, and all your aunts, your mom, your sister. So you have to be able to balance being a man. You know what I mean? And that is the difference, like, from the generation that we grew up in. Like, yes, you balance them with strength, and you balance it with kindness and lightheartedness, but it doesn't mean that you have to cry. And you can internalize stuff, and you express your shit in other way, or you do it by yourself. You know what I mean? But it was a really strange time in my life when he went through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I had 2 deaths close. You know, my grandmother died last year, I believe, or 2 years ago. My stepfather died a decade ago, maybe. And I spoke, choked up. I don't think I was crying, but it was. If I wasn't, it was on the verge.
Yeah.
Oh, it was tough getting through it. Got that lump in your throat. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I did as best I could when my dad passed away. Even now, like, I think about it, and I'm,
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was gonna say, is he crying right now? It looked like you just about to start.
Yeah, like it was really weird. Like I thought, okay, well, I can be the strength. I'll be that. I'll be my dad for my dad. And I did okay. I broke down a couple of times, but it was never where it was just like sitting there just bawling into my hands or anything. You know what I mean? But there was definitely a heaviness, and I probably, had I not been aware of it, I probably would have bawled all day. You know what I mean? And even the other day, and may he rest in peace, my dad's good friend lives like 2 doors down from here, right? He just passed away the other morning. This morning.
Oh, I'm
sorry, I didn't tell you that. I didn't have a chance to tell you. And, we've been like family. And this man looks like my dad, bro. Everybody thought they were brothers. And we went the other night and stopped by, say goodbye, pay final respects, all that before he passed away. And sitting there, and I'm talking with his daughter and his wife, and I look at him, and I just see my dad, and just how he had whittled away. He didn't have the strength to get up and sit in his own his potty chair. He couldn't walk around.
Yep.
Like, it was just so. It was emotional, but it wasn't enough to draw that out of me. But I remember looking at him and remembering that feeling of my dad. You know what I mean? It's really kind of weird. And not a lot of people can do, and not that I'm not about myself or whatever, but a lot of people can't control their emotion enough to go through that kind of stuff to not cry and to not everybody mourns different. Everybody deals with things differently. I couldn't cry and deal with everything and make decisions that had to be made if I wore that on my shoulders. I have to be disconnected from it to be able to make rational decisions,
right. Yeah.
To be able to make things right and do what he wanted. I don't know where the hell I was going with that story, but I went off on a rant. Sorry. But no, I brought it up because of crying, because I hadn't talked to anybody about it. I'm 49 and I'm around my sons all the time, but I don't have anybody my own age that I could ask, hey, like, did you start crying at any time?
Yeah.
Like, is this shit starting to happen to you? Like, and what's funny is, there was some sort of report that said like men start to lose their testosterone levels at a certain point.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, fuck, maybe that's what it is.
Well, when you say, does a movie make you cry? You want to know what gets me? And I hate to say this, is seeing handicapped kids. Dude, I will break down. When my kids were in high school and we go to like the football games.
Right.
And that parents would bring their their handicapped kids, whether it be wheelchair or like a mental thing. Dude, I have to turn away because I will start crying.
Really?
Yes, and it's because I think I'm fortunate that my kids came out okay,
Right.
and just my kids' lives and what they're experiencing versus what that child's life is and what they're experiencing and what they're going to have to do as they become an adult.
Right.
And I mean, dude, I'll be driving and stopped at a light, and if I see a kid, dude, I will freak out.
Really?
Not freak out, but
really hard.
yeah, real hard though. I don't know what it is. Real hard though.
It's funny. It's like it really. You're right. I think having children create that in you, and because you equate a lot of the things that happen to. Fuck. What if that was my kid?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Oh my God, how lucky am I?
I mean, I even feel for the parents. I'm like, what they have to go through.
Yeah, their daily grind of God Almighty.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, dude? How much more work it would have to be to have a child that had some sort of disability or that was.
I'll think, if that was me, if I passed before my kid, I would hope that I would pass before my kids. But my concern about what's going to happen to them, how they're going to be taken care of when I pass.
Right.
Oh, I start thinking about all these things, and I start really getting down. And sometimes, if my wife will see a handicapped kid,
Yeah.
she'll say, "Don't look to your left." And I'll know exactly what she's talking about.
Really?
Yeah, because I'll get bummed out real bad.
Wow, that's a powerful emotion.
I don't know what it is.
That's
too
crazy.
sensitive.
What about you? You sensitive about anything? I think you're sensitive about animals.
Kind of, but even then, that doesn't make me like. It's one that fucking sucks. Like all those ASPCA or whatever commercials come up.
Right.
They have the sad song on there, yeah, but it's like, like not even that's gonna. Like, what is it, In the Arms of the Angel or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Like they have.
It's funny because I know exactly the commercial you're talking about.
See, it works. It's impactful. Don't cry, Tony. Even then, it's like, yeah, that's a bummer. But
you've never really been very emotional either, though. You're kind of an asshole too, right?
I'm a stoic son of a bitch.
Marlo and Me? I think that's the name of that movie.
Marley and Me? I've never seen that movie.
Okay, watch it. Because at the end of the movie, the dog dies.
Well, now I don't have to watch it. I know what happens.
And dude, get a good cry off of that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't think I would actually cry.
I've heard of that movie before.
Yeah.
How emotional it is.
It tugs at you.
What about Han Solo doing that new? He did a new rendition of. Yeller.
Oh,
Really?
I've never seen that movie.
I haven't
either.
seen it.
No, I
I haven't even heard of it.
I never saw the first one.
I know what all the other is.
I'm with you. I know exactly what it is, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I also know how that book ends and that movie. And it's the same thing, and it's
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's a bummer.
So you're 49. Before you had children, you have one daughter, right?
One daughter, one son.
Did you ever watch Cinderella before you saw, or before you had a daughter?
Not to the extent that I watched it after I had a daughter.
And therein lies the truth.
So yes, you saw it before you had a daughter.
I probably did, yeah. Or I mean, how else do you know the story if you didn't watch it? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that story's been told so many times that.
But where are you to hear that story? I mean, I had to have seen it. The little Disney old school movies. I've had to have seen it.
Bippity boppity boo.
I don't think so. You didn't have to. Well, I don't know. You did live in a wider neighborhood than I did.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Because you lived in Palm Springs most of the time, right? Yeah. Yeah, you probably saw it before.
But I definitely watched it afterwards.
Once you, I bet. What about Dumbo? I'm 49. I've never seen it.
I don't think I've ever seen Dumbo either.
No?
No.
They say there's a lot of racism in that movie. There's a matter of
Christ,
fact.
here we go.
Disney,
I know where this is
no.
going.
This is what's funny is that Disney now is putting labels
Yep.
on their shit on Disney Plus that tells them that it may contain racist stuff.
Wow.
Because on one of them it's on Dumbo, where they have a couple of crows, and the crow's name is Jim Crow.
Nice.
Then they have an Asian guy, an Asian cat or something, that has features like what they consider to be like normal Asian features, and a white actor with a really bad accent doing the voice.
Got it.
And then there's another one, and I can't remember what it was. I was reading the list
Is
today.
there one on The Lion King?
No, and that's what pisses me off. The Lion King.
I knew that's where. I'm going to preface with this. I've heard this story about The Lion King about 16 fucking times. The second he said something about Disney and racism, I knew it was going to end with The Lion King.
Okay, before you say what it is.
It's the most racist fucking movie in America.
Okay. If you could give me if you continue to talk, but let me try and figure out exactly what you're talking about, because I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
I've seen the movie many times. I'm not seeing where the racism in it is. So go ahead, and hopefully I'll figure it out before you actually spill the beans.
Okay.
Can I just tell him one thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about the 3 hyenas.
That's
it.
just
And
one
keep
aspect
going.
of it.
And keep
Just think about the hyenas.
keep talking.
So there was there was also one where they had. Is
it because Whoopi and
Whoopi
and
Cheech and one that was so high he couldn't talk? It was either so high or so stupid he couldn't talk. He just giggled.
right? That's racist?
Well, where else you gonna find a Mexican, a black person, and somebody so fucking high they can't talk but the hood? Because that's where they were from, right? They weren't from the Pride Land. They were from the hood. But we'll get into that in just a minute.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's more?
Oh yeah, dude. That's the fucking tip of
Really?
the iceberg.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
The tip of the racist
That whole
iceberg.
fucking movie is a sham.
No.
I'll break it down to you right now. You're gonna go home fucking crying, and go home. You're gonna go. Do you have it on DVD? Or do you have it on VHS probably still? You're going to go home and burn the motherfucker. I'm telling you.
No.
I'm telling you.
Don't underestimate his ass.
And I'll tell you what, Tony. I'll tell you what. I figured it out one night. I was so fucking high. I was sitting drunk, and I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I stood up and proclaimed how fucking racist it was. 2 days later, that shit was in every fucking major newspaper about how racist that movie was. I'll be back to that in a minute. So they had this other video that they had, and I can't remember which one it was. They named a bunch of them there. But I guess they had they were sitting down at the table and they had black servants, and they didn't have any faces. They were just dropping off plates and serving the people.
Okay.
and there was some sort of song or something that was at the beginning of that played into that whole kind of plantation lifestyle. So Disney has, and it was a different time. It was a different era when that was done. I'm not saying that it's okay. And that's what Disney says. We're not saying that it was okay that they did this, but it was a part of the era. It's a part of the history. Let's learn from it. And we're going to leave these in our catalog.
They should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They should. Now, are you sure you're ready for this?
Teach me.
We're at a
Okay.
point of no
Preach.
fucking return at this
Right?
point.
All right.
Preach.
All right,
Because
so-
I'm not seeing it.
So I'm going to tell you a few things. We're going to start off with this. Malcolm X said, okay, that racism is taught, and we teach it to our children by the things that we do and the things that we allow them to see. Not necessarily what we tell them, but the things that they see. So you have to be careful about the stuff that they watch and the things that they're around, first of all. Now, if you look up the word white in the dictionary, you look up the word black. White is all pure. It's all clean.
I remember that in the movie, yeah.
Everything virginity, right?
Yeah.
Black, evil, dark, everything bad, right? When you're a kid growing up, your parents always tell you, you're not afraid of being alone. You're afraid of the dark, right?
Right.
So you grow up with that in your head. So when you meet somebody that's a darker skin color than you are, you're afraid of them because they're dark. You're afraid of the dark. It's those kind of, but I know you're looking
I
at me like
understand it's a
reach.
stretch, trust me.
It's a
but
stretch.
But understand the ideology behind it of
The subliminal messaging.
right. As a young child, if you are not careful about the way you say to things, like that shit sticks on the back of the head, they don't understand that when you say dark, they mean because you're in a room with no light in it. They heard the word dark. Okay, so put that to the side. Now, because couple of things before we get into it. Simba's was a wine that you could only buy in the hood in the 60s. Okay. What was the other one?
Mufasa?
Mufasa, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Simba, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Scar, which was the bad guy, which was the uncle, right?
Right.
Dark mane, dark brown eyes, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So follow me.
Okay.
So they come out.
You're a dick.
No, because he's already reeling out.
I'm understanding the light and the dark aspect, but that's their hair. So, okay.
Well, but blue eyes and blonde hair, brown eyes and dark hair. Just saying. So then he takes Simba out to Pride Rock, right? They're standing up on top of the mound, and they're looking out over the Pride Land, right?
Yes.
Everything the light touches is yours, right? And then he said, but what about the shadowy area? And all of a sudden he snaps, you're never to go to where the shadows are. Now remember, there used to be a TV show in the 70s, and they used to call black people shadows. And there was a one called White Shadow, which was about a white coach that taught at a black school. Right. Remember that? Okay. So all these little subliminal shit, right? Now, so the next shot, Simba and Nala said, fuck it. Let's go see what's going on down there, why they don't want to let us go, right? So he goes... And what does he meet? He meets 3 hyenas, a Mexican one, a black one, and one either too dumb or too high to talk, right?
Okay.
And where are they? They're in the shadow area. And what's in the shadow area but a bunch of bones?
Right.
It's all dark. There's no food. There's no water. Everybody's lurking.
Nobody's happy.
Yeah, nobody's happy. Everything looks fucking creepy. Even the song that they play is a little more sinister, right? So... where do you go and you see cars and you see skeletons of cars everywhere and you see all this darkness, all this creepy shit happening?
It doesn't look
right.
nice.
Yes. The hood, right?
Yes.
So then his dad comes and saves the day, right? Takes him back to the Pride Land, repeats again, never go to where their shadows are, right?
Right.
So then Scar and Mufasa fight, right? And all Scar wants to do is this uncle with the dark hair and the brown eyes. Hey, man, I just want to bring the hyenas over to the Pride Land so they can enjoy all the shit that we do. Right?
Right.
I just want them to come and be able to enjoy some water, be able to eat, and enjoy. All of us get along. It'll be great. Right? So what does he do? He ends up killing, they end up fighting, Mufasa dies, and Simba runs away. Right? Because he thinks it's his fault.
Right.
Right? So while he's gone... all this shit, he brings over the hyenas, all the people from the hood, brings them over to the suburbs, the Pride Land, right? Now watch this. If you watch this on the fucking screen, dude, it goes from being water flowing in the river, animals everywhere, fucking green, everybody's singing and chirping and blah, 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 to gray. Everything's fucking gray. There's no food. The water stopped fucking flowing. It's cloudy, like... everything went to shit when you brought them fuckers over here, right? So what happens? He comes back. Simba comes back because they tell him, hey, the Pride Land's gone to shit. Scar brought everybody over and nobody's got anything to eat, right? So he comes back, fights his uncle, right? Kills the uncle, sends everybody back to the shadow area that didn't belong on the Pride Land. Shit you not, the next shot, he's sitting there, everything's green again, fucking birds are chirping.
Not even that. It's the light comes back over slowly.
Yeah. The light
along
comes
with the
back
water,
over
the plants.
to show you, and everybody's happy and dancing
The
and
animals
singing.
start looking up as Simba walks out onto the penthouse balcony.
Right. So what is it? Hey, don't bring people that aren't like you. Don't play with them because they're going to fuck up your shit. That's what Trump was saying to fucking Biden the other night at the fucking debate, saying, hey, we don't want to help those fuckers because they're going to take all of our shit.
Okay.
I think
He
we
said,
should
question the first.
Okay, go ahead.
Just a quick question.
No, I'm not still high.
I think the bringing the hyenas, that was a great point. bringing them into the Pride Land and how everything turned to shit. Okay, I can see where you went there. But the hyenas being the Mexican, the black, and the high person.
Right.
The only reason you say that is because you know the voices of those particular hyenas.
Why do you think they use them now? Okay, so let me give you this then. Let me fuck up your theory, because had you not known that it was Cheech and Whoopi, okay, not known it was them, are you telling me that you couldn't hear those voices and know that it was a Mexican and a black person?
Well, that's just because that's the way they speak. Whoopi and Cheech.
Tony, are you telling me that if you're on the phone, if you had to call somewhere, 9 times out of 10 you can't tell who's on the other end? Get the fuck out of here.
Of course I can.
Okay, then. Yeah. What are you arguing?
But Mufasa, James Earl Jones,
loved by white people, light skin, played Darth Vader. What?
Scar
playing Darth Vader doesn't help. Darth Vader is in an all black suit with a white man underneath it.
Right? He can't even play the guy in the suit. They just you could just be the voice.
You know what's even better is that Darth Vader didn't admit he was the father till he took the mask off and it was the white guy.
There you go. There. We're killing you all from all the 3 different movies right now.
You know what? Now you're going to have me looking at all these movies, and I'm going to be looking at the racist aspect from it.
Right. Well, look, I pointed out just because
know that it's there.
Yeah, I just pointed out because it's fun to fuck with people, especially when they're really love.
Dude, the bones with the
boneyard
wrecked out cars in the streets. Oh, dude, yeah, that was a good point. That was a very good point.
It makes sense though, right?
Yeah, it does.
And and
think of it like the clouds are low.
Yeah,
everything's dark. Nothing looks fantastic.
Right. It's all fucking eerie and creepy. Look like a Scooby-Doo cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
With the leafless trees and the
I mean, it just, and I told this to a white guy. I went, well, yeah, if you look at anything and you look at it hard enough, you can find racism. Hey, stupid.
What does that say?
That's the point. You have to watch what you're like. Clearly, as a child, if you're watching that, whether like a child's not going to articulate it to you and say, "Hey, Dad, that fucking cartoon told me not to hang out with Mr. Wang's kid anymore."
Right.
But it's going to be in his head. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can't fuck with that dude because he doesn't look like me, and his shoes are dirty and have a hole in them. He's gonna steal mine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily that thought, but
it's funny because Super Friends on Saturday mornings, because all the superheroes were white,
right?
They came up with Black Lightning,
right?
Because they had, they realized we need some black characters. Apache Chief. And he was just
started looking like fucking YMCA up in that business.
What are they called? The Village People?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mind blown.
Yes, sir.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that movie again just for that.
Dude, I watched it again when it came back out because they didn't have it anywhere, and you couldn't download it. They had like a moratorium on it where you couldn't get it. And as soon as it came back out, I sat and I watched it, and I was like, God damn, it still has that same fucking ring to me. Like, just watching it, it was like, holy shit.
Incredible.
I did this for a communications class that I had in college, and I had to give a speech, and we had to do a presentation. So I clipped out pieces of the movie so that I could, all right, so here, and then I showed him a piece of the movie, and the dude that was my teacher, he was like totally pro fucking Disneyland. Like, he was Mr. Disney. He had the lanyard with the little things that you fucking trade.
Yeah.
Like, he worked in Orlando at Disneyland out there, and he was a tour guide or whatever.
That's Disney World?
Yeah, Disney World. What did I say? Disneyland? Disney World out there, and was all a part of all that shit. And so he was really, really Disney. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna fuck with him. I'm gonna do this. We had 15 minutes to give our speech, and if we went over, we failed, and if you went only 10 minutes, you failed. So I went and I timed it out, dude. I had it right at 15, and I was done. He said, no, I have questions. He said, you can't sit down. You know I'm a fan of fucking Disney. Obviously, he didn't say fucking Disney. I'm a fan of Disney. I have questions. So kind of like you did. Like, he started breaking stuff down. And I snap it right back. And he was like, okay.
So, wait a minute. How long how long did you figure
Have I
this
known
out?
this?
Yeah.
Like right around 92, 93? He said, and you're just telling me now?
And he's been telling that story ever since.
Yeah, dude, I've ridden that motherfucker for years, bro.
Wow. Oh, man.
He's going to go and he's going to call some people and try to tell them that story again.
Or he's going to watch the movie with his kid and he's going to like he was right.
Right?
Like right about what? Nothing.
Or he's going to tell you, hey, that didn't keep you from playing with any of the kids in the neighborhood, did it? Hell. Sebastian, any final thoughts?
Nope.
Nope. Tony, any final thoughts?
No. Thank you for having me again.
Hey, man, you know what? I think you'll be a great addition to the show. We're glad that you're welcome and open to being a part of it. And I think that we got a great journey ahead of us. Thanks for joining the team.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite.
All right.
Yeah. Glad to fucking be here.
Fuck, sorry. Next time I'll give you some fucking laughing gas before we start the show. Jesus
Hey.
Christ.
That's not a bad idea for an episode. See what kind of horse shit he spews out.
Right? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Love you. See you next time around. Peace.